puts us just a mere 17 episodes away from the start of Season 5. What will happen in Season 5? Possibly the same as has happened in Seasons 1 to 4. Who's to say? Well, probably me. But in the meantime, let's look at the paper today. I had promised a magazine special today, but to be honest with you, I'm actually trying to write something. I got commissioned to write something, so I got busy with that, and I ran out of time to do the magazine special. I will get to that later because I'm going to get Els in the chat for you. But right now, it's not quite like nobody's actually in the room at this point, so that would be a wasted request. Right, going to start with the Sun as is a common situation on the show. Then we're going to do the Guardian and the Times, and then finish on the Daily Mail. Thank you, Slinkermeyer. Yes, I am a big Bianca fan. Yes. Okay, I've lost my thread. Where is it? I will pick it back up.
Did you say the word Bianca?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what your thread was.
That's what my thread was. Yes, because I was thinking about Bianca Del Rio, who is my favourite queen from any season of Drag Race. Dan Jones 3142. It was an absolutely elite newsletter cupboard. Elite newsletter cupboard. I don't know what that means. Cover. Oh, the one in the background of this, or the one today? The one today was pretty full. Right. Okay, we're going to start with Sun. Let's get it out of the way. Front page of the Sun today. Do I want my glasses on? Or do I want my glasses off? Let's see. It's the Clark Kent versus Superman question. Okay, starting off with the Sun. Front cover of the Sun, top of the page. They have spoken to the so-called prankster who broke in to the Love Island villa. Is that a new defense against burglary if you just say that it was a prank? Anyway, Intruder says, I got to villa bedroom door. Then the main story is England final boost 3 lie-ins. Hungover fans can go to work late on Monday. And then they've put a picture of a guy asleep at London Bridge Station after the previous game. I'm sure he's delighted to have been pictured without his consent on the front page of the Sun in, having a little nap. On page 3, it's not page 3 as usual today. It is Rooney has a lion pride picture of Wayne Rooney with his children, and then the main another story there. Mason gave me his shirt, now I'm belle of the ball. Girls' joy at Mount's jersey, hasn't taken it off since. Starstruck schoolgirl who cried tears of joy after Mason Mount gave her his England shirt beam yesterday. It was a dream come true. Belle McNally, 10 captured nation's hearts after 3 lions at Ace. Mount picked her out in the Wembley crowd following England's historic 2-1 victory over Denmark. In a heartwarming video footage, Belle is seen sobbing with happiness as Mount jumps security barriers to personally give her his jersey after the Euro 2020 semi-final. Well, that's quite nice, isn't it? On pages 4 and 5, Southgate's reward for inspiring us all. What a night. Gaffer Gareth posed to be Sir. Boozy fans celebrating to early hours. I really hope he turns down that knighthood if Boris Johnson tries to give it to him. But I suspect he won't. Page 7, Her Madge 95 meets Bill 89, Royal of the Rovers. Queen visits Corrie pub. She did that before she visited 39 years ago for a similar visit. This time she got given some cobbles from the original Coronation Street set and some beer mats, which I'm sure she's delighted with. On pages 8 and 9, security breach at Love Island pad. Such a creep is the headline. Intruder got up to bedroom door of the villa. YouTube streamer, I was after the girls' numbers is the claim. And also on that page, Brad cops off with new arrival Lucinda in a police-themed Love Island challenge dubbed Line of Booty. There we go. There's a picture story about Princess Beatrice, who is pregnant. They give the headline, Beatrice Wimble Bump because she's at Wimbledon. Awful. Adrian Chiles again, our favourite turnip-headed man, is around, and he writes, 30 million of us held our breath, then we went mad. All Love Island cops are bastards, says Dan Jones 3142. Yes. Claude Littner has had to pull out of The Apprentice after almost losing his leg in an e-bike accident. It's unfortunate for him. On pages 12 and 13, Green Amber Go. 100 countries opened up. No quarantine with 2 jabs. Kids won't need vaccines. Well, it's not strictly like that. One Direction's Niall Horan wants to go in after he gets called up for his coronavirus vaccine. The boy band star shared a photo with his 27.7 million Instagram followers showing himself getting his jab. The Irish singer who found fame in One Direction thanked the NHS in his comments and urged everyone to get vaccinated. Yeah, great, good, well done him. Once again, the Sun minimising predatory stalker behaviour again. It's their jam. They love to do that. In the telly pages, Ali Ross, the awful Ali Ross, says Faye and co prove Love Island lot are their own worst enemies. Whatever. And he doesn't like Anne Robinson. Well, I'm sure she doesn't like him either. On page 17, that's page 3 today, Irina is ready to shake off the past as well as her clothes. If these shots are anything to go by, the Russian model, 35, dated Hollywood actor Bradley Cooper until they split in 2019. Now she's been swept up by Kanye West after his divorce, apparently. Couple kept their relationship low-key, but was spotted on a romantic French trip. Irina is pictured here in some classy undies from Victoria's Secret, aka Victoria's Secret sent the Sun these pictures. Countdown star Susie Dent has split with her husband of almost 20 years. The 56-year-old dictionary expert first joined the Channel 4 show in 1992 has been living apart from teacher Paul Atkins for the past year. Now, here's the thing. We were told, right, that the Sun only reports on relationships now when it's in the public interest. Is it in the public interest for you, me, person in the room, anyone else, to know or care about Susie Dent's love life? It is not. And yet, here it is in the paper on page 17, and they do this almost every time. Hello, Scott Christie Jones. Thank you very much for gifting a tier 1 sub. Much appreciated. The gifted sub goes to Farage's Fuckface. Really nice. Really appreciate that. Thank you. And good to see you. On pages 18 and 19, the new Mrs. Johnson takes her fashion inspiration from Kate, insofar as they both wear really ugly clothes. I mean, like, bland shit. Who cares? On page 21, Brit's new cookie record. Food fan Matt Stanford set a new world record after scoffing 200 bickies in less than 40 minutes.
That's cool. Let's do that.
Yeah, adult humans as well saying bickies makes me feel physically ill. His challenge saw him wolf down Jaffa Cakes, Oreos and Chips Ahoy cookies that had a calorie-busting total of 11,000 calories. And all he had to help wash them down one every 12 seconds with water. Max33 said, everybody did say to have tea with them. I tried to stick with water, but it sometimes does differ. He runs a YouTube channel called Max vs. Food. Does other challenges he's done include eating a tower of 100 fish fingers and munching his way through 50 tacos in under an hour. As you'd expect with, as is often the case with competitive eaters, he's actually pretty skinny. His biscuit task was part of a double-hander with American pal Joshua Crady, who also ate 200 cookies in a UK versus US challenge for July 4th. Max from South London also hopes to qualify for a US hot dog eating contest. He said being able to compete in one of those tournaments would be so cool. It took him 12 seconds to eat each biscuit. Yeah, you could beat that.
Yeah, it's a piece of piss.
In the TV news, Radio 1 DJ glad to finally work without hangover. Jordan North has been named successor to Nick Grimshaw as host of Radio 1's Drive Time. Right, moving on. World's smallest cow. Lowly cow. This tiny beast is believed to be the shortest in the world at just 20 inches. Rani, a Bhutanese breed farmed for its meat, suffers from dwarfism and is 20 inches tall and 26 inches long. He should overthrow the height record of 24.1 inches held by a Veka cow named Mikyam from Kerala. Rani's owner, M.A. Hassan Halada, says of the endless selfie demands, honestly speaking, we are tired. There we go. Tiny cow. Tiny cow. 480,000 pounds of cocaine has been found in sausage boxes. Remember, though, that the value they put on cocaine busts is always massively inflated by the police. Just fuck faces. You could literally lift that cow to your mouth and suck the milk out. You could. There's an interview with Bill Bailey about talking about winning Strictly and his friendship with his dance partner. No sign of the Strictly curse from him quite yet. University professors, 93 historians and politics professors surveyed across 44 universities have agreed that Anthony Eden and Theresa May were the two worst prime ministers since the war. Give Boris Johnson time. Friar Bentos, Michael Gove's sausages reported missing. On page 29, Mr. R.I.P., an ice cream seller, was given a fitting send-off by colleagues. He followed his funeral cortege in a convoy of 10 colourful ice cream vans. I mean, that's quite a nice story. Enter the drug den. Bruce Lee did coke, hash and acid, but didn't chase the dragon. Martial arts legend Bruce Lee was a secret drug user, letters have revealed. Well, really? The Enter the Dragon film star wrote over 40 notes to a fellow actor about his spiralling habit before his early death. The letters to Robert Baker show he supplied Lee with drugs including cocaine, LSD and cannabis from 1969 until the star died aged 32 in 1973. They were discovered at a flea market and will be auctioned in the US for £160,000. While it was whispered in Hollywood that Lee had a drugs habit, the letters not only confirm it, but reveal his dependence on them. Baker, who died aged 52 in 1993, even went to great risks to ship drugs from the US to Lee while he was away filming in Hong Kong in 1972. Chinese-American Lee asked his Fist of Fury co-star to send him a large amount of cocaine. He explained he was stoned as hell, but some coke would help him get into character for an upcoming movie role. While he was filming Enter the Dragon in Hong Kong in 1973, his wife Linda wrote on his behalf to apparently request drugs. She added in a letter dated April 14th, "Don't worry about Bruce using the coke, he's not going overboard." A month later, Lee had a seizure and collapsed with swelling on the brain. He recovered but was found dead in bed on July 20th, 1973. A spokesman for Heritage Auctions in Dallas said Bruce Lee is the most influential martial artist of all time and a pop culture icon of the 20th century, and these letters show he kept an explosive secret. He still managed to be an absolute massive badass regardless, so I don't know. I'd like to actually see more of those letters and a bit more of the context around them. Isn't Gove supposed to be really well hung? Yeah, that's something that's been in Pop Bitch has talked about for years, but it was punched out from the newsletter yesterday by that Politics for All, Politics for All, but with an I at the end, account that tweeted it out. Yes. I've not heard from any first-hand sources that have actually fucked Gove, but I mean, who would want to admit that aside from Sarah Vine? On pages 30 and 31, Raheem's rise by pals who always believed in him. How an early investment in sterling has paid dividends. This is cheeky as fuck from The Sun, who had published a string of disgusting smears on Raheem Sterling, over the past couple of years, but have now decided to have a vault face now that he's doing the business for England. Faraj's fuck face says, "I need to fuck Gove so I can confirm the story. I am a committed journalist, but my commitment ends way before fucking Michael Gove." Tara writes, "I feel like if I was a first-hand source, I would be changing my identity." Yeah. Yes, person in the room safe word is Michael Gove. In the review section, they recommend they talk about Diana's decades on ITV. tonight's TV picks: The Nordic Murders, more 9 p.m. Michael Ball's Wonderful Wales, or Wales' Wonderful Michael Balls. I don't know.
Michael Wales, Wonderful Ball.
Celebrity Gogglebox is on Channel 4 at 9 p.m. and there's the Athletics Diamond League Monaco from BBC 4.
Bring back normal Gogglebox.
Tara writes, oh, the way that the Sun treat these black players now the team is winning is pissing me off. Yeah. Like, don't lie to us, we're not foolish. Exactly. I mean, you know, we still have the receipts of the front pages of what the Sun said about Raheem Sterling previously. In Fab Daily today, the trends we still really, really want. The fashion things they want to bring back: slip dresses, buffalo trainers, micro glasses, feathers, athleisure, chunky lights. These are all styles that the Spice Girls had. Animal print, little black dresses, Union Jack clothing, or you can fuck that one right off. Bikini tops, suits, and sheer dresses. I mean, you can wear any of these things if you choose to. In Dear Deirdre, my toy boy lover is son's best pal. I'm in love with my son's best friend, a man who's not even half my age. Go on there, girl. My lover is 24, I'm 52. We met when I gave him a job in our family restaurant. Okay, gets creepier. Him and my son met at university and both wanted to make some money while they were home for the summer. He was flirty from the start, always complimenting me on my looks and winking at me from behind the bar. Oh, Jesus. That's going to end badly. Overbearing mum treats me like a kid over COVID, writes a 26-year-old man. Don't write into the Sun for advice would be my advice. Hate job and wish to write instead, says someone who's 44. Yeah, don't just quit your job and become a writer. It's not a good idea. But do write. You know, do it. Nothing happens when I climax. My wife thinks I'm cheating because when I ejaculate, nothing comes out, writes a man to the Sun rather than going to his doctor. Like, this reminds me of that thing. I can't remember who does the comedy routine about it, but about back in the day, someone writing into Sugar magazine saying that they had used cling film instead of condoms and had lost the cling film, and they had written into Sugar or More, whichever one it was, a then fortnightly magazine for advice.
It's almost like they make this shit up.
What's that?
Warning to others.
Yes. What fashion desk wears? Pining for Gap and Topshop? Check out these stores instead. Abby, a writer and stylist, likes Reserved. Nana, a style editor, likes H&M and their brand Weekday. Jess, the junior stylist, likes Monkey. Tracy, the fashion director, likes Lindex. And Clemmy, the fashion editor, likes a brand called Stradivarius, which is not just like covering yourself in violins. Who knew? In the letters page today, the £50 letter comes from Luke Russell, who writes, the England team have done the nation proud by beating Denmark 2-1 to reach the Euro 2020 final at Wembley. Like many of us, I was not born the last time England made it to the final of a major competition, the 1966 World Cup. After all we have been through with COVID, this is the perfect tonic to lift our spirits. These players now have the chance to become legends. They can do it, and we will be roaring for them on Sunday. And the shit you can get away with writing into the newspaper to get 50 quid out of the Sun. Gotta be a Sun-written letter, hasn't it? Farage is fuckface, not born in 1966, but bet he still thinks he fought in World War II. Very likely. Farage is fuckface says, I get all my style tips from Brooklyn indie pop stars, and they all dress like 90s kids. Pretty much. Mark noticed you did not miss the magazine. I ended up actually having to do work this morning, so failed to sort out the magazine special. But I'll do it on Monday. It's possibly going to be looking at Empire again, or maybe something else, depending on if someone suggests a different magazine to do. Moving on something for the weekend, they interviewed Jacob Dylan, who's back with another Wallflowers record. I mean, really. In the films, Finding You gets 3 stars, Martin Eden gets 4 stars, The Truffle Hunters gets 4 stars. They're still trying to get you to buy a share in a racehorse, There's 3 to choose from this time. Hackaday Places, Baracello, or In the Cove, ranging from £57 a share to £35 a share. I really feel like there's a scam element going on in some of this buy a share in a racehorse thing, but I just can't. You just get that feeling. Grilling Pirate Pete says, they will be legends unless they lose when they will be pariahs. Yep, they can turn on a dime with that. Mark Canosa says he gets all his style tips from the drummer from Biohazard. Good work. In the sports, on the back page of the sports, so good, so good, so good. Walker calls on fans to sing us to final glory. Sweet Caroline. Honestly, the worst pun they've done in ages, and they've had some really shit ones recently. Right, some minus 69 for me from the Sun. Mark Kenosis says he takes his tips from the drummer from Biohazard, by which he means he's bald, and today he wore black cargo shorts. Well, it works. I'm wearing Bianca Del Rio merchandise today, so, you know, we all have our crosses to bear. Lincoln Meyer minus 69 for the Sun. We're going to do... shake it up. Rather than shake it off, I'm going to do the times, and we're going to do a speed run through the times. We'll come back to the birthdays, though. Right. How many minutes for the times? Always 3.
You know this.
Okay. Sliggermeyer says, I'm wearing a Geff the Talking Mongoose t-shirt, so I'm saying nothing. Well, that's a good t-shirt.
Is he from the Isle of Man, Jeff the Talking Mongoose?
Geff the Talking Mongoose. Is he?
Yeah, he's Manx.
He's Manx. A Manx Mongoose. Nice. I said Geff. I meant Jeff. Anyway, the times. Here we go. It's going to be a 3-minute rocket through the times. We may return to some stories for a second look if there's anything that takes your fancy, and obviously we'll do the birthdays because we always do. Right, hey Google, set timer for 3 minutes. Hey Google, set timer for 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes, and we're starting now.
Okay, front page of the Times, how to beat Italy. Henry Winter in the game says he knows how to beat Italy. They've got a £5 off at Lidl deal. Seems fine. Top of the page story, vaccinated Britons rush to book quarantine-free holidays. Who's told them this? Why, it's the travel firms. The main story, crinkle. Payouts to families to offset green energy bills. This is the government floating this policy. Also on the other side of the page, another story given to Henry Zeffman by the government. Southgate could win the country a day off. We could have, well, those of us in England and Wales could have a bank holiday if they win. On page 3, Dying Monty shares one last adventure with devoted owner. It's a really sweet story about a man who took his Labradoodle on a trip and was helped by loads of other people. It was very, very sweet, and Monty looked like a very good dog. There he is, looking like a very good dog. Right, got to get through this paper faster. Jesus Christ, it's so hard to actually move through this paper. God damn it! Right, Mind the Cobbles, Queen told on Corrie trip. A knighthood for Southgate and maybe Captain Kane too. Star Saka was a real role model, says PE teacher. 55 years of hurt, don't be daft. England's never had it so good, says Hunter Davies. Intricate gowns weave a timeless fairy tale in the eternal city. Jab paperwork will lead to long queues at airports, tourists told. Tokyo state of emergency bars Olympic spectators. Enemy Lee couldn't kick his drug habit, is the claim. Meghan lent support after I pulled out of Grand Slam, says tennis star. Ashcroft's son took children out of Belize after shooting. Socialite who sold a £1.15 million pumpkin faces jail for fraud. Church's bill for bishops is £120,000 each before pay. It took a big person to live in cool prehistory, is the claim. Brain disease made Paxman, a Tory wet. Jeremy Paxman has said he's been let off lightly by getting Parkinson's disease compared with his forebears. It's time to give number 10 real levers of power, says James Forsyth, basically just saying whatever Boris Johnson wants him to say. Emma Duncan says Britain needs more second-class universities. Trump's Supreme Court is full of surprises, says Jared Baker. Oh, really? We'll come back to the birthdays. In the world news, Afghanistan is not worth more US lives, says Biden. American military saves Humvee from the scrap heap. President's bloodied assassins dragged through the Haiti streets. It's all over for Czech women's suffix. Bordeaux sees red as Macron backs Burgundy for wine capital. On the front page of the G2, why the brainy love balls. Academics, composers, philosophers and popes. Yes, they're all football mad. Why wouldn't they be? HSBC accused of attack on democracy over Hong Kong. In the obituaries, Carlos Reutemann, brilliant but inscrutable Argentine racing driver. Rosemary Kingsland, Bohemian author. And Jack Dowling, spy master who was the only CIA officer to run and recruit agents in both Moscow and Beijing during the Cold War. Finally, in the sport, England give prize money to the NHS. Victory in Sunday's final will be worth $9.6 million to players, and they're going to give it to charity. Good lads. Right. Yes, absolute disgusting on the Biden quote. Hey, so Turnip, good to see you. Scott Christie Jones says, I'm rolling with a Take Me to Your Dealer t-shirt, which is awkward as I'm going to sit in court for a sentencing, not mine in a bit. Oh, John, nice. Chronotherm, keeping the union alive by having England national teams winning everyone holidays. Lol, number 10 has so much power. What the fuck are they on about? Exactly. Was that headline, brain disease makes Paxman a Tory wet, is the claim, yeah. Mark Knosis is in a conference, lunch break conference, it's a Goldsmiths conference, because that's the type of dickhead he is. We love you for it. The Royal Flush, USA isn't worth any Afghan lives, but here we are, yeah. Isn't HSBC allegedly enormously corrupt? Yes, it's not even... You don't even have to say allegedly too much about it. Hey, SK, how are you doing? Good to see you. Looking for... I presume you have a stream tonight. Grilling time at Pirate P. In a time read, I think you should come back to Birthdays No Bit. Long list will screw up your timing. You may miss an interesting note to come back to. Yes, I am going to... That's the thing. I'm coming back to the birthdays. I'm coming back to the birthdays, and I agree. SK the Crusader is on tonight at 6 p.m. playing Victoria 2. Cool. All right, so in the birthdays today, David Hockney is 84. Mark Almond is 64. Reg Bailey, chairman of the YMCA until 2015, is 71. Sean Berry, politician and leader of the Green Party, is 47. Reverend Professor Judith N. Brown, historian of modern South Asia, is 77. Steve Coppell, the footballer for England until 1983 and a manager, is 66. Mark Getty, KBE, co-founder of Getty Images, is 61. Douglas Gurr, museum director, the Natural History Museum, and chairman of the British Heart Foundation, chief executive of Amazon UK until 2020, is 57. Tom Hanks, the actor, is 65. Rupert Heseltine, my former boss, chairman of Haymarket Media Group and a real pain in the arse, is 54. Professor Sir Brian Jarman, physician, president of the British Medical Association until 2004, is 88. Jim Kerr, singer in Simple Minds, is 62. Baroness Jill Knight of Collingtree, Conservative MP for Birmingham Edgbaston until 1997, is 98. John Lansman, co-founder and chairman of Momentum, is 64. Courtney Love is 57. Nigel Lithgow, the producer of Gladiators and American Idol, is 72. Kelly McGillis, the actress from Top Gun, amongst other things, is 64. Paul Merton, the comedian from Have I Got News for You, is 64. Richard Roundtree, the actor known for Shaft, amongst other things, is 79. Jimmy Smits, the actor, is 66. Clive Stafford Smith, the human rights lawyer and founder of Reprieve, is 62. Jack White, the musician, is 46. Richard Wilson, the actor, is 85. John York, television producer and managing director of Company Pictures, including who produced shows including Wolf Hall, is 59. And Ashley Young, the footballer for Aston Villa in England until 2018, is 36. On this day in 1982, Michael Fagan, an unemployed father of four, broke into Buckingham Palace and entered the Queen's bedroom. The last word today goes to the Victorian poet and novelist Jean Ingelow in her novel Fated to be Free. There is nothing so unreasonable as infancy except the maturer stages of life. Bum, 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 bum. Clarifications and corrections. There are none. No particularly interesting stories, interesting letters today. So Turnip 2 says, imagine how big the royalty checks have been for Jack and Meg White for Seven Nation Army. It's in every sports stadium. Yeah. Happy birthday to Courtney Love. I was a big Courtney Love fan and still am. Although I missed the opportunity to interview her. Mark Gnosis has a nice napkin designed by David Hockney for the cafe in Saltaire. Dan Jones 3142 says Mark Ullman, the dirty old bollocks. I had drinks with Mark Ullman once, and he was nice. Who else was there? Holly Johnson was also there. Jim Kerr once held my hand and wouldn't let it go as he sung at me live on TFI Friday, then called me a cunt, says Scott Christy Jones. It's a story and a half. Richard, TFI Friday, I feel like there was a lot of good / bad stories came out of that. I still love the Sean Ryder interview where Chris Evans promises him that he can have the shoes if he doesn't swear, and then he immediately says they're fucking good shoes. Richard Wilson is 85, I don't believe, and a piano falls on Mark Kenosis. And Grilling Pirate Pete says, I've heard the story of breaking into the Queen's bedroom before. Was the Queen in the room at the time? Was it a prank or was it for a darker purpose? The guy was suffering, just having a really shit time in his life. It wasn't a prank, but yeah, he wasn't intending to harm her. He wasn't intending to harm her, and the Queen talked to him until the security came. The version of it in The Crown is neither accurate nor wildly inaccurate. Farage is fuck face. Amazing that Billie Piper was married to Chris Evans and he's not her worst ex. Yeah. Mark Knows is an amazing Calypso song about the guy breaking into the Queen's bedroom. These are the kind of facts I love. Right, so that was the Times. There was a couple of okay animal stories in there today, so I'm going to give that a minus 67 today. Give me your scores before we clatter towards the final paper. The final paper of the day, which is the Daily Mail. Oh, the song is called The Mighty Sparrow by Philip, my dear. Absolutely excellent facts. Thanks for that, Mark. Right, I'll just do the roll call first before we move on to the Daily Mail. I am, of course, the Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy. Or what's that? You are in the picture, yes. That is person in the room. You can follow her on Twitter at Dr. Kate Devlin. In the mod squad today is SK the Crusader. He is on at 6 o'clock tonight playing Victoria 2, a game I am not familiar with, but I intend to tune in and find out. I intend to both fuck around and find out. Elsewhere in the chat today, we've got 2020, another TT viewer, Bloodluster, Chris McRae, Chris Gilliard, Commander Root, Community Showcase, Discord for small streamers, Dan Jones 3142, E Blair Fan, Farage's Fuck Face, Frugulous, Grilling Pirate Pete coming in from the US, Chronotherm, Mark Kenosis, Morin Skell, Red Tick Seed, Ronnie Rosenthal, Scott Christy Jones, thank you for gifting the subscription. That was much appreciated. Slinkermeyer, an absolute stalwart of the chat, as I mention often. Do check out her photography on Instagram and elsewhere. It is very good. So Turnip 2 is here. Tom Toms is here. Tara writes, always excellent in the chat. The Royal Flush is here. Urban Bongo, V&K, Virgo Pros, and Zippy Shavit. Hello. Thank you all for joining me today on this Friday score. Yes, L's in the chat for person in the room, please, who absolutely toppled over in the street today by tripping on a curb and has hurt her leg. Farage Fucksake says, Mighty Sparrow's a great artist. He's got a banger called Sell the Pussy. Frugulous, yeah. Thank you for the L's. Thank you for the L's from Slinkermeyer, Dan Jones, 3142, SK the Crusader, Morin Skell, and Scott Christy Jones. And Red Tick Seed and So Turnip. Red Tick Seed says, get well soon, person in the room. Yes, I got her a coffee. It was very medicinal.
Big brews and a big grizz.
Yeah. Ash Flaps McNulty says, solidarity to the person in the room. I fucked my knee up recently. Yes, cool. Broken Bottle Boy added permitted term, I fucked my. Yes. Grilling Pirate Pete. Was the person in the room just being clumsy or was an animal to blame? No animal was to blame. It was just a curb.
I was pushed.
You were pushed by your own brain. Okay, so now we're moving on to the Daily Mail, our final paper of the day. The Daily Mail today says, after that joyous victory, Richard Littlejohn has decided he likes football now. I'm sure he's got a reason why he's still angry with the team, though. The crazy, spittle-flecked racist that he is. Win 2 tickets to the final. Would you, like, in a way, I'd like to enter the competition because I'd like the tickets, but on the other hand, would I want to be there on the under the auspices of the Daily Mail? Difficult to say. Main story: COVID app to be redesigned to slash quarantine. Thousands are spared. Isolation madness. Was person in the room shot at from a book depository? Let's say yes.
I'm a book fat truther. That is the case.
The Daily Mail has a clarification in its corrections and clarifications today. It reads, an opinion piece on May 19th about vaccine refusal said that the number of Indian variant cases in London had increased because too few residents had had the jab. While vaccine uptake in London for the first 9 priority groups was lower than the rest of England, we are happy to clarify that there was no intention to suggest that all of these Indian variant cases were linked to vaccine refusal. See, but look, tiny. The correction is tiny, right? And the story would have been very large. On page 3, why Mrs. Kane can't get any closer to hero Harry than the Danish defence. He scored winner, but after 5 weeks, COVID bubble means this is as near as they can be. Oh dear. Person in the room was shot at while being interviewed by Mark Kermode. That Werner Herzog interview is amazing. It's just a minor wound, he says. On pages 4 and 5, £54,000 for 1 ticket. Mad scramble to be part of history at Wembley, but experts warn of rip-off websites. They've got a crazy picture of people at Wembley. Of course, they wanted to blame people of colour for the spread, and then it turns out that they were wrong. Fan caught on camera had pulled a sickie. A worker who pulled a sickie to watch England's semi-final win was sacked after her boss saw her on TV. Nina Faruqi, 37, made an excuse to dodge work in Yorkshire after a friend offered her a last-minute ticket to the historic night at Wembley. But the face of the digital content producer from Ilkley near Bradford was beamed around the world when a TV camera zoomed in on her and her friends celebrating England's equalising goal. When catching the 6 a.m. train back north next morning to be at work on time, Miss Faruqi said her boss phoned her to tell her not to bother coming in. She told the Daily Telegraph, they said they'd seen I'd been at the game and I was honest about why I did it. But I didn't get any sympathy at all, and they said, that's it, that's their call, and the consequence of what I did. It's a bit of regret, no one wants to get fired, but then also I would have hated to regret of missing out. I'd do it all over again. It's a bit like, imagine just getting sacked for that. It's kind of, you just say, oh yeah, don't do it. Growing Pirate Pete, so the blatant clickbait headline covers the front page, the correction is a 2-line blurb on page 20, typical. Well, 2-line blurb on page 2, which is a page that most people miss. This is why you should always wear a mask of Disney characters so they can't film you. Yeah. Kindest fan of all, Sam gave up his semi-final place to attend a stem cell donor session. Now he's been given tickets to the final. Okay, but that's nice. The rows going into extra time. While most fans accept that England's semi-final win was well-deserved, there are also several controversial moments that some say played a minor role in the victory. And then they list those, and then they say, yeah, but what about all the times we got fucked over? Scott Christie Jones saying, yeah, that's what people do at the cricket to avoid getting caught in the fancy dress. Farage's fuckface, always join a union so you can't get fired for petty shit like that. Yeah. Simon Walters writes, the PM's personal finances, they're as orderly as his hair. Yeah. Boris gets away with his freebie getaway. MP's overall sleaze watchdog on £15,000 must-eat trip funded by a tycoon, but still give Johnson a slap on the wrist. It's fucking meaningless. Meaningless. Jodie Turner-Smith wore a very cool outfit in Cannes. BBC, the Mail's got there. Remember when an entire stand at Headingley was dressed as Jimmy Savile? Jesus, I do not. On page 11, in sync, our Olympic stars. Shame no one will see them. Suspended gracefully in the water, Team GB synchronised swimmers Kate Shortman and Isabel Thorpe display their skill and poise. The duo have teamed up with lingerie label Blue Bella for a campaign to encourage girls to be more confident in their bodies. Right. On pages 12 and 13, the Baroness of Gloucester. Dido Harding insists £37 billion test and trace has been a success after Say said it had hardly any effect. On page 15, things may get bumpy for B. Pregnant princess is all smiles at SW19 with Italian husband. But just wait till Sunday. I'm sure they'll cope. Tom Utley is genuinely an awful human being, and his column says, surely it wasn't Olga, the lodger I couldn't stand, who led the council to threaten me with unlimited fines. Nothing says a Daily Mail column like the opportunity to baselessly blame a foreigner for something. On page 17, as the Queen's lawns are open to the public for the first time for just £16.50 a ticket, how to throw your very own Buckingham Palace garden party. Whole page on that. Richard Littlejohn writes, some people are on top of a bus. They think it's over. It isn't. But what the hell? The tidal wave of young faces dancing, singing, waving the flag at St. George was a joy to behold. This was a moment of national catharsis, the day the dam burst and we threw off the mask, both physically and metaphorically. Oh, God. Oh. And then he goes on, in 1966, I was a starstruck kid. My bedroom walls plastered with pictures cut out of Charles Buchan's Football Monthly. 30 years later, I was writing a football column for the Daily Mail and presenting TV and radio programmes. I was guest manager on Frank Skinner and David Baddiel's fantasy football series along with John Motson and Peter Cook. The Lightning Seeds, the band on Three Lions, played my London weekend television show. So did the Kinks' Ray Davies, who sang, obviously, Sunny Afternoon in the run-up to Euro 96. And until this week, I'd almost forgotten that I'd also made a commercial video for Euro 96 featuring Ken Wolstenholme. As Michael Parkinson once told me, the great thing about our game, kid, is that you get paid to meet your heroes. Drop in the names. This is just a whole column where Richard Littlejohn tries to claim that he's still relevant, basically. Kate Shortman, actually a tall woman. On pages 20 and 21, redemption of the superhero Sinner. He was a Batman star labelled psychotic whose celebrity marriage collapsed. Yet now, as he uses a voice box after throat cancer, a touching documentary on Val Kilmer's life is electrifying the Cannes Film Festival. Electrifying. Sunak hints triple lock is under threat. COVID could see pensions rise by 8%. Goodbye, British troops leave Afghanistan at last. Hello, more translators fly in for a new life in UK. 1966, where a pipe and trips to the flick won it. Sterling's on £300,000 a week 55 years ago. Final tickets were 10 shillings. One of the many eye-popping changes between football then and now. Oh, this is very racially coded, this, lads. Mark Kenosis, love that the Lightning Seeds are just the band from Three Lions. Yeah, I mean, come on. Red Tick Seed. So the moral of the story is don't let England win anything or you'll end up with more male-writing cunts. That is perhaps one of the morals to come from it. Tom Leonard in New York writes, packed with the devil that haunts Hainty. This is some insane racist shit. Heads on spikes, a private army of psychopathic dandies, sinister voodoo priests. Why the killing this week of the Caribbean Islands president is just the latest twist in its brutal history. Fucking hell. Meanwhile, their coverage of the Queen in Coronation Street. The Royal Rovers return. 4 decades on, Queen is back on Corrie Cobbles. And on at the top of the page, how do you eat a chocolate digestive? Upside down, says Oxford professor. You may not have considered the issue very deeply before, but there is, it seems, a right way and a wrong way to eat a chocolate digestive. And if you enjoy the biscuit with the chocolate-coated side facing upwards, you're making a big mistake, according to an Oxford professor. By all means, bring the digestive up to the mouth with the chocolate on top, because this creates visual anticipation for the taste to follow, said food scientist Charles Spence. But before the first bite, it should be flipped chocolate side downwards. That is because most taste buds are on the surface of the tongue, so the full taste can be... Oh, God, fuck off. You obviously hold it by the bit more biscuity side to avoid getting loads of melted chocolate on your hands. Mark Knossos is on the Haiti thing. Yeah, it's so racist. A great terror writes, fucking hell, I'm going to scream. Slinker Jesus, piss gargling Christ. The brutal history of Haiti, which has occurred with no outside influence whatsoever. I know, yeah. And the... What made Haiti violent? It's impossible to say, isn't it? How the left has bullied Britain into going for woke, writes Leo McChristry, talking to Frank Luntz. Frank Luntz thing is fucking bullshit. That his stuff is bullshit. Last Walkies by Wheelbarrow and by Rucksack. Dying Labradoodle's final trip up favourite peak. I mean, this got to me. Look at Monty. What a lovely boy. What a good boy. And his owner took him for a last trip. And got helped by his friends and stuff, which is very sweet. The £200,000 reward for better GCSE grades. Teenagers who score one grade higher than their classmates across 9 GCSE subjects are likely to earn up to £200,000 more in later life, researchers found. Studies like this are always really have huge problems because there is many factors that can lead to better performance. A lot of them to do with class and family income and all kinds of other things. So, yeah. Red Tixied, I wish the left had as much power as deranged right-wingers seem to think we have. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's phrased like this and done like this because many of the right's talking points don't work if they have to accept that they are in charge of a lot of things. It only works if there's an enemy without and an enemy within. So the left always has to be that, even if it has little or no power, either in government circles or in cultural ones. On this day, July 9th, 2021, from the Daily Mail archive, July 9th, 1973. Newlywed actress Diana Rigg, who always vowed she would never marry, held hands with her husband yesterday. She said, "For the first time in my life, I have met a man who is my match." The man Diana fell for is 40-year-old Israeli artist Menachem Geffen. July 9th, 1983, Britain's first microchip baby was born yesterday thanks to a £10,000 computer. Parents Beth and Roger Hornet hugged their new baby at the Hammersmith Hospital. Consultant Robert Winston and his team used the computer to work out which couples are most suitable to become test tube parents. Paul Merton is 64. Kelly McGuinness is also 64. Born on this day but died recently. Donald Rumsfeld, born on this day in 1932. And Oliver Sacks, born on this day in 1933. The London-born neurologist and writer was dubbed the Poet Laureate of Medicine. His memoir, Awakenings, inspired a play by Harold Pinter and a film starring Robin Williams. He also wrote The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat, based on a case histories of his patients. On July 9th, in 1816, Argentina declared independence from Spain, and in 1962, Bob Dylan recorded Blowing in the Wind on this day. Quote of the day comes from A.A. Milne. "A bear, however hard he tries, grows tubby without exercise." Bit near the knuckle there, or a bit close to home, as it were. Joke of the day. How did the musician catch his fish? He cast a net. The Daily Mail chases the other papers from yesterday with coverage of the story of the man who murdered the lodger who murdered an elderly man and then fed him to badgers. There's a claim that dementia could be prevented by wearing false teeth. Tooth loss increases the risk of dementia, but wearing dentures may protect against the disease, a review has found. Okay. Juliet Stevenson is determined to give her family a reason to smile after they suffered a terrible tragedy last year. Truly, madly, deeply sorry to wed her boyfriend, the anthropologist Hugh Brody, after almost 3 decades as a couple. Well done, her. Slinkermeyer, as ever, the best thing about the joke is the deafening silence of your delivery. That's what I'm always going for. Hanks for the memories. As Hollywood legend Tom Hanks stars 65, turned 65. How many of these 65 roles can you name? Most of them, to be honest. On the front page, Inhaler, the album by Inhaler, the band led by Eli Hewson, Bono's son, gets 4 stars. Meanwhile, Tom Odell's album Conquers Its Monsters gets 3 stars. And there's a special day of tributes being planned for the man who wrote hit songs for Tom Jones and Engelbert Humperdinck. Barry Mason Day. Wigan has decreed Monday Barry Mason Day, honouring the prolific songwriter on what had been his 86th birthday. He composed the lyrics to Delilah and many other hits, and he died in London in April. On July 12th, radio stations, particularly across Lancashire, have been asked to play his music, and Wigan Council will be airing an interview with him shot as part of a documentary by his grandson, Charlie Martin. Right. Okay, Mark Kenosis, have a good time at your conference. Front page of the football supplement. Worthy heir to Bobby Moore, the making of Harry Kane. Annette gets a 4-star rating. That's been showing at Cannes. In the theatre, Constellations, the version with Peter Capaldi and Zoe Wanamaker, and also Ivano Jeremiah and Sheila Atim, gets 4 stars. They're still trying to get you to go on a trip. The Cunard New Zealand Voyage and Luxury Australian Rail Adventure. In the fiction, they review various chillers and thrillers for your summer holidays, wherever you might be going, and a set of real-life rollicking reads, as well as children's books. Today's pick of the day is Michael Wales' Wonderful Balls. I mean, Michael Balls' Wonderful Wales, 8 p.m. Channel 5. Farrow and Ball Inside the Posh Paint Factory only gets 2 stars from Christopher Stevens in the TV review, while Diana's Decades, which the Daily Mail recommended yesterday, also only gets 2 stars. An Australian railing adventure would be something quite different, Corona Therm. In the cartoons, Garfield is just winding up John and his girlfriend. In Chloe and Co., Chloe and her friend are drinking and talking about men. And in Fred Bassett, it's Fred Bassett's birthday, and he gets a special dog-friendly cake. Fred Bassett, the only pure thing in the Daily Mail, as we know. They're still trying to get you to enter the competition to win the luxury motorhome. This paper... All right, right, here is the poem of the day, really awful. Nursery rhyme for our time. Little Jack Horner sat in the corner, scratching his head as he moaned. He'd been waiting for June and was COVID immune, then he learned Freedom Day was postponed. All the plans he had made and the rules he'd obeyed had proved pointless because of this blow, as his once held belief that June would bring relief was all gone now to his great sorrow. Fucking hell, the scansion. But what irked him most was the usual glib boast that this could well be the last time, that he'd have to adhere to these terms quite severe because he'd grown so accustomed to that line. So little Jack knew that what could well ensue was that he'd have to go on forever, abiding by rules instigated by fools who show no common sense whatsoever. And that is Ken Irons from Newport, Isle of Wight. Ken, whatever your day job is, if you're retired, get another day job, mate. Scott Christie Jones. Roses are red, violets are blue. Cat flap. Yeah. So, yeah, there we go. Let's do the... let's do the letters today. We've got the straight to the point letters. Only 3 of them today. A. Still of Tollershunt in Essex. Tollershunt Knights in Essex says... Why, when car manufacturers are required to put right dangerous faults in the new vehicles they have supplied, are builders who do the same treated quite differently? That's a fair point, to be fair. Adeyemi Banjo says, if the Health Secretary is to push the SAGE Committee into the wilderness and no longer listen to their advice, the government can no longer claim to be guided by science. And Anthony Latter says, so now it's sexist for a man to say a woman is pretty? What a heinous crime Boris Becker committed! An awful example of the woke horrors that the likes of Stephanie Hilborn are trying to force on normal people. And as he said that, his false teeth flew out of his mouth and smashed through the window. Norman Wanstall writes, the government needs to push through a law that anyone carrying a knife will serve 5 years detention without parole. Once the first offenders have been named, shamed and detained, knives would vanish. Thing is, Norman, it doesn't work like that, mate. His false teeth flew out and he immediately got dementia. That's it. That's it for the letters today. Woke horrors with Alfred Hitchcock, says Chris McRae. Today's recipe is chorizo and chickpea summer stew. I mean, it looks fine, to be honest. They're also trying to get you to go on a 5-star South African adventure by land, rail, and sea. I mean, it doesn't sound too bad, but the high risk of being stuck with Daily Mail readers is the worry. You could get yourself a luxury lodge at a Southwest holiday park for just £159,000. Jesus Christ. Luxury lodge. Holiday park. Some ugly shoes. Are you in the market for some ugly shoes? Because if you are, just £17 a pair, available in beige, black, grey, or navy. And they are wide fit. Daily Mail readers and white South Africans. Yeah, what a combo. In the motoring, they review the new Lotus. Apparently, football fever is boosting our economy. Theo Fennell purchases former empire from private equity. The king of bling is back, it says here. There's a thing for helping you with bad backs. In the sport, Mahmood Magic, paceman casts spell as Ben's babes blast past pitiful Pakistan, says Paul Newman, a man clearly obsessed with alliteration. Defiant Lions chief vows to keep to tour plan and rules out returning home. And on the back page, share our glory. England stars will donate millions to NHS heroes. English footballers intend to make a huge donation to NHS charities following the team's euphoric success at Euro 2020. Good lads. Right, there we go. That is the Daily Mail for today. Give me your score. For me, it's a classic double negative. Nice. That's a minus 69.69. We will be back on Monday at 1 p.m. for the usual show, or probably 1 p.m. May shift around a bit because Kid in the Room is having her transition day to high school and doing it at home via video lessons because of COVID stuff. So yeah, we'll see what time the show actually happens. If you've enjoyed the show and you want to ensure your choice for the magazine special gets picked next week, or you just want to chuck some coins in the direction of the show, do consider putting some into paypal.me/conquest of the useless. If you want to pick a magazine, just write the magazine in the comment slip. Of course, if you are not yet a subscriber to the newsletter, it is brokenbottleboy.substack.com. It's free to subscribe, but if you like it, you can always upgrade and you get more stuff. And finally, if you want to talk more with the reprobates of this show's chat, get onto the Discord. Again, a free thing to join. Here's the link for the Discord. Do join us there. And time for the final roll call of the day. A reminder, SK is streaming tonight at 6, playing Victoria 2. I will be popping in. I hope to watch a bit of that. I'm, of course, Broken Bottle Boy. Follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy. SK has been in the mod squad today, in the chat generally. 2020 has been here. Another TT viewer. Ash Flaps McNulty, good to see you. Chris McRae, Clara Bow 82, Commander Root, Discord for small streamers, E Blair Fan, Farage's Fuckface, Feet, Grilling Pirate Pete, Chronother, Madison Moybog, Morin Skell, Albert Calmu, Red Tick Seed, Ronnie Rosenthal, Scott Christie Jones, Selinka Meyer, Snur, Torms, Teo Wrights, The Royal Flush, VNK, Virgo Pros, and Zippish Avit have been here. Thank you for joining me. As I say, back on Monday at probably 1 o'clock, but keep your eye on my Twitter for changes to the time. In the meantime, I wish you a good weekend. Enjoy the match if you are someone wishing to enjoy it. I will be watching it, possibly with my father. And yeah, looking forward to it. See you soon. Bye-bye.